Toby Keith died today. I wanted to bring this up because there's a little bit of a personal feeling I have for this. And you know, have I ever come on here and talked about a celebrity death? This is not something we do. We don't do pop culture stuff. But, well, this is a little sample of Toby Keith. Never apologize for being patriotic. We lost him, 62 years old, stomach cancer, terrible thing. Okay, I'm just gonna say something. Maybe it'll hit home for you, maybe it won't, but back after 9/11 in this country, many of you will remember this, but back after 9/11, there was a lot of emotion going on around this country, a lot of emotion. I was a young Marine at the time. I didn't join after 9/11. I was already in the Marines. I've been in for a year or two, something like that. 9/11 happens. There wasn't a ton of pop culture support for us as we saw it. When we went to Kuwait and got ready to go into Iraq for the invasion, we did not feel really any, or I should say very much, pop culture support. We didn't feel like celebrities, like the entertainers, musicians, movie stars, but we didn't feel like they were speaking for us. In fact, we felt like they hated us. But Toby Keith took a totally different route than almost everyone in the music industry. He chose to write songs like Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, American Soldier, patriotic songs. And, well, I'll tell you this. This was before the war officially started. We were in Kuwait, and then George Bush declared we invaded. So I was there for the very, very beginning of all this. While we were over there, we only had one working stereo in our platoon. It was some little CD player. Remember CDs? Some little CD player someone had sent from back home. That was the only music we had. We were in the desert, sand filled it up, trashed it. We very quickly didn't have any music. Have you ever been without music at all for an extended period of time in your life? I'm not even a musical person. I certainly can't sing or dance, but it's wild when you go without music for a while, how much you crave it. And we craved it. And we had a guy, I don't want to name him, said I didn't talk to him before the show. We had a guy in our platoon, weapons platoon, from Arkansas, a country guy, and he loved Toby Keith. And he could sing. He had a set of pipes on him. And he loved Brought to You Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue. He loved American Soldier. He loved all of Toby Keith's other songs, his big hits. And he loved them to the point he had memorized them. And whenever we could talk him into it, we would talk him into standing up in front of the platoon, no music, we didn't hear nothing. And he would sing us Toby Keith songs. And man, it was awesome. It was awesome. And it was awesome to have somebody boldly speak on behalf of America. Even though, look, I most definitely was a bit naive at the time. We probably all were. I look back on that and I saw someone who cared about the country. And that is what, look, you've heard me talk about it a million times on the show. That's what we lack now. Patriotism. Patriotism is not some side issue, not some cliche thing, oh, here we go, red, white, and blue. Patriotism, the love of your country, is the essential element in remaining a country. No matter how powerful, big, or small your country is, if your country is full of people who hate it, your country will fall. And if your country is full of people who love it, your country will probably remain. I love the fact that there was a celebrity, at least for a while, who just talked about America and the greatness of it. And look, I'm not going to get all misty here. I'm not an emotional person, and you know I don't do celebrity deaths, but Toby Keith, rest in peace, sir. You meant something to us at the time. And look at how far we've fallen since then. Super Bowl's coming up in 5-6 days, whatever. I know it's on Sunday. I just don't know whether I count the day of whatever. Super Bowl's coming up this Sunday. Patriotism? No, now we live in a country where they feel the need to play the black national anthem before the actual national anthem. Now we live in the divided states of America. Now we have Black Lives Matter in the end zones and racism in the end zones. We have Drew Brees rocking around, well, I think he's retired now, I don't watch the NFL anymore, with a rapist's name on his helmet. That's what's happened in this country. It's wild how far patriotism has been removed from this society. In fact, any place you see it, it almost looks out of place now, doesn't it? Think about this. The Grammys were just the other night. No, I didn't watch it, but the Grammys were the other night. Think how wild it would have been to have some singer get up on stage and say, nothing political. Hey, I just want to tell everybody I love America. I am blessed to be here. We are so blessed to live in this country. It would have been almost odd, right? Not almost, it would have been odd. So out of place, it would have been odd. 20, 30 years, patriotism just vanished before our eyes. Now we have communists like this one in Tennessee.
Representative Jones has declined to say the prayer. He asked for someone else for their assistance, Leader Camper. Are you asking to help him lead the prayer?
Yes, sir.
Leader
The
Camper.
pledge. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
He was asked about that little display there. Justin Jones said, quote, "I couldn't bring myself to join their performative patriotism as they continue to support an insurrectionist for president and undermine liberty and justice for all." You know, the truth is, I should have seen this coming a long, long, long time ago, because I remember having an argument with a Democrat I knew. This is 10 years ago, maybe now. And I was talking to him about politics starting to creep into sports, speaking of the NFL. Democrat, left-wing politics, America sucks, America's evil, that kind of thing. And I remember telling him, hey, man, there shouldn't be any politics in sports. It should just be sports. And he looked me dead in the eye. He was serious. And he said, what do you mean? Sports is already political. They already play the national anthem and celebrate the military. Doesn't that tell you everything about how the communists see this country? It tells me everything. It tells you everything about how rotted and soulless it is. And that brings me to our politicians. I'm going to wrap up with this. One last note on the Senate border bill thing that looks like it probably won't even get out of the Senate. And I want to credit you with this. Your outrage, the outrage from you was almost universal. It was universally felt to the point where they're now behind closed doors in the Senate feeling bad for James Lankford, Senator Kendall, because he's probably going to lose his seat in the Senate, hopefully, because of this whole thing. So it's dead, right? But I just want to remind you that Democrat leadership and Republican leadership, while the American border remains wide open, while this country is invaded with millions of criminals who have no right to be here, Republican and Democrat leadership came together to ensure that the border stayed open and give billions of your money to Ukraine and Israel. This is Chuck Schumer.
Leader McConnell and I, who disagree on many issues, have never worked so closely together on legislation as we did on this, because we both realized the gravity of the situation.
These people are awful. The people who lead this nation are awful. And I know it's kind of weird to go off on that, but it's what made me miss Toby Keith. It's what made me kind of do that sucks when I saw he died, because I remember the feeling in this nation 20 some years ago, and I miss it.